Veronica Vanderhall, a 14-year-old high school girl, is rebellious and has a no-nonsense attitude. She disobeys instructors and parents and consistently receives poor marks. She receives a lecture from the principal about her poor grades and attitude. Veronica's inattention and clever behavior result in an indefinite suspension by the principal. Later, at home, Veronica attends another lecture from her parents. Veronica's father presents a flyer about Miss Genevieve's School for Difficult Girls, which targets girls with socially challenging tendencies. In other words, this institution excels at disciplining privileged females. Veronica reads the flyer and refuses to attend, but her parents convince her she has few options. The next day, they drive their daughter to Miss Genevieve's School for Difficult Girls. Miss Genevieve is the principal of the school. Additionally, all pupils have a strange hairdo, making them seem out of place. After meeting Veronica's parents, Miss Genevieve promises to discipline her and send her home after a few months. The speaker also claims to have straightened over 1,000 females throughout her reign. Despite their rebellion or arrogance, Miss Genevieve always finds a way to assist them. In the meantime, Veronica's mother questions why all the girls at school have the same haircut. Miss Genevieve explains that the hairstyle reflects their uniform, which represents simplicity, obedience, and honesty. With a frightening gaze, she believes that young minds are like sponges, and females arrive with negative habits. She only needs to squeeze them. Heather Corbett enters, and Miss Genevieve introduces her as Veronica's roommate. Heather first greets Mr. and Mrs. Vanderhall warmly, but then whispers something to Miss Genevieve. Miss Genevieve instructs Veronica to remove the gum, but she defies the order by placing it on a nearby pole. After Veronica's parents leave, Heather takes her to their room. The room is dim and has just 2 beds, a table, and an alarm clock. Heather offers to assist Veronica with unpacking, but is denied. Veronica chastises her for revealing it earlier. Heather is asked to stop the behavior since their scary principal is no longer there. To her amazement, Heather says she is obeying the regulations and will continue to do so until they enter the school grounds. Veronica, puzzled by her conduct, relaxes by listening to music on her MP3 speaker, but Heather intervenes again. She abruptly switches off the speaker and informs Veronica that music is prohibited. Before departing, she mentions that Mr. Welch would soon give her a new haircut. The following morning, Veronica is woken up at 5 a.m. by both the alarm clock and Heather. While still tired, she dresses in her school uniform and travels to the canteen, where the girls are eating breakfast and chatting. The unusual thing is that none of them are yelling or laughing like typical girls their age. They seem dull and lifeless, like robots. Veronica visits the counter for meals, but discovers only sausage and bacon are available. She must now adapt her vegan lifestyle. The scene shifts to a male history teacher, David, recalling prior instances of youngsters disobeying their parents and facing consequences. It seems that all courses at this institution aim to instill obedience and politeness in kids. Veronica disputes David's claim. A whole class is stunned since this is the first time someone has contradicted their instructor. However, David reassures them that Veronica will soon become nice. He asks her why she hasn't had a haircut before class concludes. Soon later, Miss Genevieve calls Veronica to her office while she is exploring the playground. Upon arriving there, she finds Mr. Welch, the barber, waiting for her. The barber unexpectedly takes measurements and asks her age, which is not necessary for a haircut. After recording the facts, Mr. Welch informs us that he cannot schedule a haircut appointment until the following week due to his busy schedule. Upon Miss Genevieve's request, he cancels one appointment and promises Veronica a haircut the next day. At this time, Veronica understands that something is amiss with the school. At midnight, as her roommate sleeps, she packs her possessions and prepares to leave school. However, Claire, a fellow student, stops her as she exits the main entrance, demonstrating that escaping is difficult. Several guards watch the road, and electric barriers surround the school. After introducing themselves, Claire leads Veronica to her room. She presents illustrations of 2 past pupils who attempted escape but were apprehended. Even though they calculated all guard motions, they were captured. Claire informs Veronica that she has little time since her haircut is planned for the following day. She alleges that the haircut turns pupils into monotonous robots. As Veronica is clearly bewildered, Claire shows her something. After following a hidden passage, they arrive at a chamber with Miss Genevieve, Mr. Welch, and another pupil. The pupil is tied to a chair and requests to be freed, but Miss Genevieve remains unaffected. She assures her youngster that they will become polite soon. She tells Dr. Welch, the barber, to start. He gives the tied-up pupil a bizarre helmet and a haircut while she cries in horror. Her hairdo and demeanor vary throughout time. Within minutes, the girl went from being defiant and unpleasant to calm and courteous. Veronica and Claire, observing remotely, finally grasp the pupils' alignment. Claire shares that she cracked her skull as a youngster and required a metal plate for protection. This plate prevented her from becoming a boring student after a haircut last year. Claire explains her reason for not escaping later in the conversation. She and her sister arrived at school on the same day, but only she remained sane. If she goes alone, she worries Miss Genevieve may hurt her sister. Upon hearing this, Veronica swears to devise a solution to free the pupils from the enchantment. In the canteen the next morning, she encourages pupils to whistle, but is admonished by Miss Genevieve. During their talk, Veronica accidentally admits that she and Claire washed a fellow student's haircut. This angers Miss Genevieve, who pledges to improve Veronica in the evening. Several hours later, Veronica panics and goes to her only friend Claire's room, only to discover a new hairstyle. After Veronica accidentally disclosed their surveillance on Mr. Welch, Miss Genevieve provided Claire with a haircut and removed the metal plate from her skull. She now lacks feeling and is bland, like other classmates. This ends Veronica's lone chance of leaving the awful school. Later, she waits in bed for Miss Genevieve to take her away. Heather, her roommate, enters and suggests they go for dinner. Veronica is grumpy. Instead, she recalls her youth, when she was content and unconcerned about the world. She inquires about the monotony and control of life, but Heather doesn't comprehend her words. Despite this, Veronica gives her roommate a goodbye present. As she delivers Heather her MP3 speaker, Heather remains dumbfounded. In the background, static sounds suggest Heather is recalling old experiences. Suddenly, she clicks a speaker button, triggering a pop tune. Heather first experiences tremendous agony in her ears due to the music, but eventually calms down. Interestingly, she has restored her sanity and recollections from before the haircut. She has no recollection of how she ended up at this institution. Veronica is thrilled to have discovered a remedy for the ailing pupils. Without delay, she begins planning with Heather. After some time, she visits Miss Genevieve's office and requests a haircut. As they approach Mr. Welch's barbershop, Veronica becomes irritable and insults Miss Genevieve. During this moment, she alerts her roommate to start their plan. Heather, present in Miss Genevieve's office, places the MP3 speaker near a microphone. After turning on the speaker, the same pop music as before blasts from all school announcement devices. At first, the music powerfully affects all pupils, but they quickly reveal their true selves. Claire reunites with her sister in the canteen after a year. In the closing scene, the girls come out on the playground, yelling and having fun like typical teens. Miss Genevieve fails to get them back into their rooms. Now that the enchantment is gone, the girls are free and carefree. Veronica, Heather, and Claire race towards the school exit gate as the movie concludes. Thanks for watching. Click this video to enjoy another best movie explained in less time. You wouldn't want to miss its shocking and surprising ending.